Dr. Kaufner's office, please.
It's over there, right at the end of the hall. Make sure you don't get lost.
Come in.
Dr. Frank Kaufner?
What can I do for you, sir?
I'm Gustav McPherson. I've come here to ask you a few questions about the White case.
Tell me what you want to hear. So, you are investigating the incident at the Hotel Orphée?
Yes, Doctor. Your professional opinion on the murders.
Did Inspector Lebrun send you, Mr. McPherson?
Yes, more or less. I'm here on behalf of Inspector Lebrun.
You are investigating out of personal interest. What, Mr. McPherson, is your interest in this case?
A person who wishes to remain anonymous is paying me to investigate.
We all have a reputation to protect.
Appearances can sometimes be deceptive, Dr. Kaufner. That's why I would like to clarify this situation by gathering as much information as possible.
I am at your disposal, Mr. McPherson. How can I help you?
What can you tell me about the scene of the crime? The police have released very few details.
The man who committed this murder, and I stress the fact that he is a man, is probably quite overwhelmed at the present time. This crime was committed under the influence of a sudden impulse, without premeditation. His act is now haunting him. He is not himself.
Is this the evidence found at the scene of the murder that will enable you to draw your conclusions?
Sequential repetition of habits. The cure for hysterical behavior is by elimination of the source of anguish. I am just a psychoanalyst, Mr. McPherson. It is the job of the police to draw conclusions, not mine.
What do you make of the traces of purple powder found on the bedroom floor?
Very little. Probably a drug used by the murderer to ease the pain of his act. All that is symbolic, Mr. McPherson. The murderer himself probably doesn't even know. Like all symbols, it is up to us to interpret them.
You are implying that the murderer is a victim too, Dr. Kaufner.
We are all victims of the secrets of our soul, Mr. McPherson. This criminal is no exception. We are all victims of our past. And do you have a suspect, Mr. McPherson?
If I had a suspect, I would not be here, Dr. Kaufner.
It has been a most pleasant conversation, but unfortunately, I cannot afford you more time, Mr. McPherson. I hope I have satisfied your curiosity.
You again! Sir, I have nothing more to say to you. Sir?
The police have a suspect. I saw the inspector's report. What do you know about the man who spent the entire evening by the window?
That is certainly true. He was here on the night of the murder.
And he stayed there alone for the whole evening.
Now let me think. I saw him chatting for a while with Mallet.
Who is this Mallet?
Théo Mallet. Works at the Orphée. He's a lout.
Why is he a lowlife?
He likes to bet, and when you do, you have to pay your gambling debts. It's a vicious circle. Mallet is a bona fide con man.
Until what time did the man stay?
Now let's see if I can remember. He arrived at around 8 p.m., took a seat by the window, and dashed off just before the storm broke, at around 11 p.m.
And do you know where I might find this Mallet?
Mallet hangs out at the Alambic, a bistro in the 14th district. That is where he gambles away his wages.
Did you see what direction he went when he left?
I don't know. You cannot see outside from in here. You'd better check at the Orphée. Petit, the receptionist, will probably know. He was on duty that night.
Did you notice whether Mallet gave any money to this man?
No. It's the man who gave the money to Mallet. I remember, it was cash.
Did you see this man with the whites?
I have never seen the whites, under any circumstances. There's no way I would have noticed them with that man.
The whites never came to the cafe.
I would know for sure. A pair of Americans outside the tourist season are pretty conspicuous. But if you want to be sure, check at the Orphée's reception desk. Maybe they would know.
So these two men may have no connection to the whites' murder.
Sorry, but this is your investigation, not mine. I can only tell you the facts. Nothing more.
Could you give me a description of this mysterious character?
You could draw him? That's really neat. I'll give you a description right now. He was tall, very tall, heavy, black moustache, square-faced, and dreadful eyes. Threatening even. A tough guy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Sir?
Can you identify this man?
Yes, maybe. Yes, that's him.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ah, it is you again.
Thanks to you, I've been able to draw up a portrait of a potential suspect. It's not perfect, but I think that with this we are onto something. Now all we have to do is show it to the police.
That crafty devil with the mustache. Then he is the culprit.
Just 1 minute, Mr. Petit. I never said this man was guilty. I don't even know his name.
With those killer's eyes, there can be no mistake. Good. Well, if it's all right with you, I have a lot of work to do. Goodbye, sir.
Hey, cutie. We've not seen you in ages.
Berenice, what a surprise. Look, I'm in a bit of a hurry. Do you know a certain Théo Mallet?
No, but surely the owner does. You're lucky he's in right now. Your gnome knows everyone you know.
You're as charming as ever. Thank you, Berenice.
Call me baby like everybody else. Right, I've got to run too, cutie. You know, work. See you soon, okay?
Yes, anyway, you know my address. Come up and see me sometime. Ciao.
Ciao!
Come on, let's see that hot hand of yours.
Queen and her 3 sisters.
Oh no, are you doing it on purpose or what? 3 of a kind. You beat my 3 aces. Right, I've had it. I'm off.
Ah, Hulot, you're not going now, are you? Not when I was about to relieve you of your car?
Don't start, Mallet. Do not think that you can get away with things just because you have settled your bar tab. Why, it is Macpherson. Hey, Macpherson, come over here.
Macpherson? Who is that?
Another American in Paris, who is broke. Let me introduce you. Macpherson, let me introduce Théo Mallet.
Hi.
Right, I will leave you two. I have work to do.
Hi.
I get the feeling I've seen you before somewhere. Have you ever been to New York? Oh, no, Mac. I'm so absent-minded sometimes. The jacket. The Orphée. You're a doorman at the Orphée.
If you are interested in the suit, I will give you a good deal. As far as I'm concerned, it is ancient history.
I bet you know all the hotel's comings and goings. Its little secrets, its clientele.
You are looking for an informer who can fill you in on what is going on at the Orphée, right?
A few days ago, something happened at the Orphée. Something truly awful. As you probably know, an American couple was found dead there. Murdered. I'm reliably informed you were on duty that night. You even had a drink in the cafe next door, the Nantes, with someone suspicious. Maybe even the murderer himself. Does that mean anything to you?
Find someone else. Frankly, I have nothing to say.
I have something to show you. Do you recognize this man? That's all very well. But how am I going to find that man now? He'll never come back to the Alembic.
I knew the Yanks were strange, but to talk to yourself out loud, and in French to boot?
Some are stranger than others.
See you soon.
Hello, what number can I dial for you?
I'm sorry to disturb you, miss. Can you connect me to the Élysée, 1528? I want to speak to Sophia Blake.
Right away, sir. There is no answer, sir. Call back later.
Macpherson? Here again? You've got back your taste for life?
Hulot, you remember the guy who ran off the other night when I wanted to talk to him? Had you ever seen him in the Alembic before? That man is dangerous, Hulot. He's the prime suspect in this nasty murder business.
Should I know him? No, I do not know who it is. But he did not seem too keen on meeting you.
Unless I'm very much mistaken, Hulot, you were the last person to see Mallet before he disappeared the other night. You don't just run off like that for no reason. Believe me, Mallet has got something serious on his conscience. Maybe he's mixed up in this murder.
I will not say another word about Mallet, but I am sure of one thing. He is not a killer.
I don't mean to go on, but it was very strange of Mallet to run off like that. It really sets you thinking. In fact, I'm thinking about talking to the police about him. Him and his circle of friends.
The guy who ran off seemed much more guilty. Maybe it has something to do with politics. He had a foreign look about him, this chap with his moustache. Try finding him.
But that doesn't explain why Mallet ran off. There must be some reason. It can't be me, or he'd have run away as soon as I arrived.
Macpherson, leave Mallet alone. I saw his face when he ran out the back door. It was not guilt that made him run away. It was fear.
This time, Hulot, I think Mallet really has done something shady. Has he been back since that night?
Macpherson, you are wasting your time with Mallet. He has not been in the Alembic since... Anyway, I already told you he's a stand-up kind of guy. He paid me what he owed, and that is all I care about.
What do you know about my investigation, Albert?
Strangely, no one has said a word. Nobody cares, except your client, I imagine. The press has hardly mentioned it. Even the police have not really investigated with much conviction.
This murder has not hit the headlines. But you must know a bit more about it than you're letting on, Hulot. American tourists killed in their hotel room without so much as a clue? No papers, nothing? Have you got any leads?
All that I know comes from the papers, and that's all I want to know. As far as I am concerned, the matter is closed. Basta così.
I won't bother you any longer, Hulot. But make sure I can still reach you. I may need you sometime soon.
Goodbye, Macpherson. Be careful.
Great! The private eye returns.
I have some fabulous new information on the Orphée case. A portrait of the killer. Here, look.
My God, I do not believe it. Let me warn Inspector Lebrun immediately.
Do you recognize him? Wait, do you know who he is? You.
Eloin? Jacques Eloin? It's impossible.
Eloin. The name rings a bell. If only I could see that vision again. Control that vision. If only...
The inspector would like to see you immediately.
Come in, dear sir, come in. Mr. Macpherson, I presume. Would-be private detective? I have no time to waste with snoops. What do you know about the White case?
I don't have time to waste either, Inspector. I've got some news on the White case.
I'm listening, Macpherson. Go on, fire away.
I have a portrait of a suspect who may very well be the guilty party.
Where is this portrait from, Macpherson?
In fact, it is your mysterious visitor. He was seen by witnesses. I drew this portrait from their descriptions.
And where did you find the witnesses, Macpherson?
Taking statements is part of my work as a detective. Loosening tongues, looking in the right places, talking to the right people.
Interesting. Our work is very similar. There is just one problem, huh? You are interfering with our investigation, Macpherson.
I am trying to help you, Inspector.
Okay, let's say I agree to work with you. What do you want to know?
The portrait. You say you know who it looks like. That means he's a known criminal. He has a record. Who is it?
Jacques Eloin. He is a private eye, an ex-cop. He lives in the 11th district, and he is in big trouble.
The White case. Why don't you give me more information? The public could help you, and you could use this portrait to officially issue a description of a wanted person.
You are very naive, Mr. Macpherson. This man is incredibly dangerous. Our specialist, Dr. Kaufner, has informed us that the ritualistic nature of this murder could provoke severe psychosis in the mind of the public. Like in London at the turn of the century.
He's killed again? Who's dead?
Théo Mallet, the former doorman at the Orphée. Do you know him, Mr. Macpherson?
I talked to him last night. It was he, Mallet. Mallet fled as I was showing him the portrait of the suspect.
What you are telling me only serves to prove his guilt. Now you have what you want. Make yourself scarce. I need to think. Goodbye, Macpherson.
It would be better if you spoke to Inspector Lebrun directly. I will show you in immediately. I do not want to be mixed up in all this. No thanks, it's not for me. Way too complicated.
No one here. Locked, obviously. What else did I expect? Looks like there's nobody in there. I need to find a way to take a look around. No one here.
MacPherson, here again? You've got back your tit for life?
Hulot, I have a small problem. There's this lock I've mislaid the key to. Would you know of a way I could open it without damaging anything?
That and a few sticks of dynamite should set you up for that bank job, right? Seriously, Mac, why would I be carrying all that stuff? Do I look like a hardware store?
Oh, you know, there's no mischief involved. It's just for a friend who needs a helping hand.
Illegal or not, I am not the one doing it, so... Okay, Mac, I will help you. But in exchange, I want you to do me a small favor. A little job. Do not worry, it is nothing risky. I know you are good at this kind of thing. This painting is a reproduction, and here is the real thing. Do you notice any differences?
I won't bother you any longer, Hulot. But make sure I can still reach you. I may need you sometime soon.
Goodbye, MacPherson. Be careful. MacPherson, here again? You've got back your tit for life?
So there's the job done, quick as you like. Take your paintings back, Hulot. I've finished. Better check in case I've missed out any details. I won't bother you any longer, Hulot. But make sure I can still reach you. I may need you sometime soon.
Goodbye, Macpherson. Be careful. Macpherson? Here again? You've got back your tit for life?
I won't bother you any longer, Hulot. But make sure I can still reach you. I may need you sometime soon.
Goodbye, Macpherson. Be careful.